Now, I have the privilege to get to the next key or to the keynote address. Now, that keynote address will be delivered by no other person than a man we all know and we all call him Maga Ndibo. That is in the person of Senator Enyinnaya Abaribe. Senator Enyinnaya Abaribe, you may now take the podium and deliver your keynote address. Senator Enyinnaya Abaribe is the minority leader of the 9th Senate, Federal Republic of Nigeria. Maga, once more, you're welcome.
Thank you very much. Iyom Nandiko. I think maybe I will be I will say a little much more. It will not be a keynote address as such. It will simply be a set of I will say reflections on what I think that you may need to know. When Nkata and Iyom came to me to say, come and talk to us, I said, okay. And I was thinking about what to say. Until a couple of weeks ago, something happened, and I think you need to know this. We, as the Senate, you know, we have been doing what is called a constitutional review. The chairman of that constitutional review panel, of which some of us were part of, from the different zones of Nigeria, or the deputy Senate president. And so he took us to Hilton, and we had this retreat, and we were going through all the sections of the present constitution. I know that a lot of people don't even want this constitution, but then we already have it, so we have to deal with it. And we got to a particular point, and that is the point about what to do about women and their participation in governance and politics. And it struck me immediately, oh, this has to do really with what we're going to talk about here today. So I took time, and I was very, very interested in what was going on. First of all, there was a recommendation by a legal committee that had been set up to give out recommendations on the different things. And it came to this crucial point, which was, how do you get women to be part of the political process in terms of increasing their number? This happened 2 weeks ago, exactly, increasing their number. And then there was this, I will say, recommendation, first by that small subcommittee, and they said, why don't we have more senators who are women? And the best way to do it is to increase the number of senators by making them 4 per state. And that that fourth person, because we're 3 now, that fourth person must be a woman. There were 5 women who were in that committee with us, and the committee was about 32. If you see the storm of protests from the men, just to make sure that no such thing was even contemplated, you now know that women really have a long, long way to go. First of all, I think Samamadi is here. They went down to the Constitution and said, that you're going to breach a part of the Constitution that says that you can't discriminate against anybody. So how are you going to now bring in somebody else and say it's only for women? But then that wasn't the one that really was very intriguing to me. The one that was really intriguing to me was that one of my colleagues from one of the northern states now said, I am opposed to this for a very simple reason. And we said, what is the reason that you're opposed to it for? And you won't believe what he said. He said, I come from a minority area in my state. And this Senate seat that I'm occupying now comes to us as minority. And that is the only way that has made us to even come to the Senate. If you now bring a woman, now here is point. If you now bring a woman and say, let everybody vote for the person so that he becomes the fourth senator, the majority people will always win. That means nobody from my place can ever be a female senator using this. So you could now see the interplay and the mix of local things plus minority, majority, and all that. And of course, the women there, to their credit, came to talk to everybody. They made noise. They tried to cry. They made so much noise. Eventually, the Senate President said, Deputy Senate President said, okay, what do we do? And he said, okay, we're going to vote on it. And we said, how can we vote? All of us are men and just few women. If we vote, we're going to lose, of course. And we said, no voting. So they said, okay, what to do? Okay, let's stand it down and let's not continue with this so that it's not divisive. A lot of lessons from that. I've listened to Prof. and Regina about all the things that need to be done and how women have played a role. And of course, I also listened to the promo about women and so forth. I know one thing, and I need Nkata Iyom to know that. And I'm sure you all know it. First, you need to continue to speak up. If you don't, nobody will take you serious in this country, because this is what happens. The majority of the people who are in politics and all that are men. And of course, they want to hold on to the advantages that they have. And when I got up to now make a case for the women, you know, the question that they asked me, they said, if you want one woman to be this one, why are you still sitting in the Senate? Why not give up your seat and give it to a woman? I mean, can you imagine the thinking that goes on there? So you must have the courage always to speak up. You must also be confident in speaking. One of the things that is happening is that I know you all know that some women too don't also feel like they need to be emancipated this way. I think they just think that they need to be with the status that they have, which means that you're only not going to convince the men, you're also going to convince the women. Part of the recommendations too was that we have to increase the number in the federal system. And I said, we have always done so. Then I pointed out to them a very startling statistic. From 1999, there were more women. And with each electoral cycle, we have less and less and less. Why there are less women now, I do not know. The reason may be that people are getting more conservative, or the reason may be that the party in power is far more conservative than the previous one, but I just don't know. If we continue along the lines of where we're going, we'll get to a point that there will be no woman in the Senate. At the moment, I think there are about 7 or so. There used to be a lot more. And what we find today is that there are so much difficulties in that. Secondly, I think that women have to, you have to work harder, which we know as a fact. You work twice, you make twice the effort that men make in order to be recognized. And that is a pity. But then there's no running around or going away from it. So you must make yourself so valuable that nobody can throw you away. So I will continue to encourage you to develop all those skill sets that now makes that no matter what they do, they have to come back to you. And right now, I think Okonjo-Iweala comes to everybody's mind. Being so competent, and nobody, no matter how they and even those in this government who derided and said all manners of things, had to turn around again to come back to her to say, please go and run this election for Nigeria. So I think that you should continue with that. And of course, your communication skills must be such that you will be able to go that fine line between being seen as overly brash and this thing, because of our, I think Regina mentioned the question of our culture. And the culture is not just, at first we used to think that it was just the northern culture and all that, but it's pervasive all over the country. Even in our Igbo land, the culture also makes it difficult, because I know that when in the last Anambra elections, and when we went to pay a courtesy call as a Senate minority caucus to Iyom in her bid to become governor, part of what you also told us was how men will make very mundane statements like, are you going to be the person to give orgy to the men? Which means that in our own traditional local Igbo race, it's also a problem for women being able to overcome. Well, I've looked at it, and the only thing I know is that Igbo women from the time of, like we saw in our history now, have always made efforts to be right there in front of everything that happens, and help us to be able to go beyond the ordinary. This consistency is necessary. Just continue to do that. And as you do so, I think that the doors will gradually continue to open. Always be consistent, and always define your expectations. Most of the time too, I think that we're not so sure of where we should put women. Okay, where do we put them? Let's find some place where they, but if we continue, Regina, I think that is where you play a role for everybody. Help to continue to define for women, go here, continue here, and all that, and the sky will be your limit. Then, of course, finally, the thing that you're known for, women are known for integrity. Women are known for their, for the, whenever you look at any leadership role, people will always be sure that if it's a woman that is there, all the vices that the men always carry as a baggage on their back, you won't find it there. I wish Nkata Iyom very well. I'm sure that this is not the formal or normal keynote address that you wanted to hear, but I can also put all these things down and then send it as part of a package to you. I believe that if every one of us put in an effort, that we will be able to surmount the problems we have today. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ndibo. That is the erudite senator there. The voice of Ndibo is there speaking. Now, obviously, he said this is not the usual way, but indeed, the message is clear. It's another form of delivery. The message is clear that he has delivered. Now,